You are watching
Trinity Episcopal School Production Network. TESPN.
Welcome to this week's TESPN Podcast, and my colleague Hagan Andrew and I are thrilled to be joined by a couple of the senior leaders of cross country, Olivia Sibley and Thomas Strickler. And if you watched our last podcast, you saw Thomas's twin sister Gabby here talking about tennis. So now we got her lesser good half here. Just kidding. All right, so first question for you two, as leaders, as seniors who are in your fourth year in a program, and it's a program that has seen in your time here coaching changes, and your freshman year you had to have weird rules because of there was COVID restrictions. So you've kind of run the gamut, bit of a roller coaster career in some ways. But now as seniors, how is this year just going so far, and how do you all see your role as leaders of the team?
So this year, I would say, I think it's been my best year on the team, not just performance-wise, but also just team chemistry and getting along with everybody and communication with my coaches. And speaking about responsibilities, communicating with Coach Ellis and Coach Jones is one of the main things that I do as a captain. I communicate with them about plans for practice and general team morale, and I also convey their message to the group through my frequent and lovely group text messages.
Yeah, I think having the boys and girls team combined has made the team chemistry a lot stronger. Everyone's a lot more combined, running together, practicing together, racing together, has made the team a lot closer. Being a senior, it's kind of our responsibility to relay what the coaches are saying, Jones and Ellis, to the runners in a way that's maybe more easier understood, or maybe they'll want to hear from us better than they want to hear from the coaches in certain moments.
That makes sense. Hagan, do you have a question?
So in an actual 5K, unlike a lot of sporting events where it's kind of stop and go action, you're setting a pace and you're going the whole time. So what's going through your head to kind of help you maintain that pace?
I'll start. I think about, we practice every time we do mile repeats. We try to find a consistent pace that we can run. But, when you get on the starting line, you're nervous, you're jumpy, everything can break down, you can get in your head. So sometimes I'll just keep reminding myself to keep running, one foot in front of the other. Whatever small mantra it is that day that can just keep me moving forward through each mile. And third mile is always the hardest, but that's the one where you really gotta push through, remind yourself you're almost there, only a few minutes out.
I do the same thing. I think of a mantra, think of working for my team. I'm really close with a lot of the varsity girls. I've been running with them for 3 years, and I think about running for them and doing it not for myself, doing it for them, because thinking about how painful it is and thinking you made yourself do this, that it doesn't really motivate me. So thinking about doing it for my team and doing it for the team result really helps push me through.
One thing that's always fascinated me about cross country, and your coaches, Ellis Mumford and Marcus Jones, certainly fit into this category as well, is it's a sport that frequently attracts really strong academic students to the sport. and I'm always fascinated because generally cross country runners are really smart, and yet consciously it seems like you are electing to put yourself through pretty torturous circumstances. And I've always struggled to square that. How do these really smart kids want to just go out there and just punish themselves with these brutal runs? Why do you think that is, though? What do you think that it seems like there is a correlation between? I bet almost everyone on y'all's teams are great students. That's historically
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So can you figure out? You all are both really smart. What makes you turn off that really analytical brain and be you know what? I'm choosing pain.
Well, I could start. I feel like a lot of putting yourself being really smart and being in these really hard classes is not like just an easy feat. Like it requires grit to get through some of the classes, and I feel like that grit transfers over to cross country. Like it's taking the hardest classes possible, like, and then you want to also do the hardest sport possible. And I feel like it's just pushing for that extra level, that extra like oomph.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
In your sport.
Yeah, I think a lot of the runners just have that type of determination to just do the hard thing, even though it's not easy. Just to do the thing that challenges you. And I guess running doesn't require a lot of technique either. I mean, it's not like if you want to play basketball, you'd have to play that for years. A runner can kind of just get out there and run their hardest, and that's all you got to do.
Yeah, so kind of the same as my last one, but after you've like finished your 3 miles and stuff, you still have that 200 meters not a lot of people know about. So like, how do you like kind of break that barrier? Because like you're already tired, like you're done basically, but you still can push past. And like, how do you do that?
That's actually the most important part, or that's what I love most out of a 5K. That's what I look forward to. The last 200 meters, you find people, you pick them off, and that's where all the people are. Like when you're out on the course, there won't be a lot of people out cheering for you. You're in the woods, you're out up hills. Like people aren't standing there watching you. In the last 200, you've got everybody lined up on the sides, everybody's cheering, everybody's yelling, and that's when you get to pass some kid, you get to beat him, you get to go through the finish line in front of everybody, and that makes it a lot better.
Or get past if you're not careful.
No.
It's the same for me. I like the feeling of running through the finish line and seeing hundreds of people like cheering for you, watching you, like seeing like you go through this moment like physically and like put your real athleticism like to the test. It's like an unmatched feeling. And really just like when you get to that last 200, like everything that you're feeling in your body, like you want to throw up, your legs feel like they're gonna die, like it all goes away when you see like that tunnel of people cheering for you, and like you're just focused on the girl in front of you and passing her, and it's a really awesome feeling.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I never ran cross country, but I do run 2 to 3 miles a few times a week, and I always try and finish like my last minute or so. I try and like sprint at the end, just because I also feel like, well, you punish yourself, like let's just really punish ourselves before, and then you're done, and then you can relax and catch your breath, and that is kind of a cool thing. I actually did have one more question before the lightning round about courses that you all run on, just the different diversity of topography, and some are flat, some are hilly, some are grassy, some are probably trailish and things like that. And I also wanted to use this as an opportunity, Thomas, if your like parents watch this, to say thank you for their contributions to the trails between here and St. Michael's, which I love and run on all the time. Strickler family trails. So huge thank you. They're awesome, and also trail boating class, shout out. But no, just like you all have all different kinds of courses. I just was curious, like what's your favorite course, or either a specific course or favorite type of course to run on?
I feel like this is everybody's favorite, but I love Pole Green.
Yep.
I love the Pole Green lower course. That's like known as the PR course, and it's just, it's a favorite. I also really like Collegiate, because we've had our senior night there a couple times. And that has one of the best finishes ever, because you finish on the fields and like you get to see everybody, and like actual collegiate students come, and like that's a really fun, it's just like a very like populated course, like you're seeing people all the time, so I really like that one too.
Yeah, I like the Pole Green. Definitely it's flat for most of the running. I mean, normally we do it later, like we think we have it this weekend, right?
We do, yeah.
So it'll be cool, it's nice temperature, it's gonna be flat the whole time, and it has that point at the last 200 meters, like you said, where you get up on top of this hill, and it's like a slight downhill sprint all the way in, open field with everybody watching. It's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's exciting. All right, cool. Let's finish off with a lightning round, some quick questions, quick answers, get to know Olivia and Thomas a little bit better. All right, first question, who is your funniest teammate?
Courtney.
Matthew.
Oh, facts, Matthew.
What is your favorite class that you're in at Trinity?
BC Calc.
Global politics.
BC Cal.
That's a great
That's yeah. Is that Hauser?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. What is your pre-meet like hype song that you like to listen to, or do you?
Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood.
No hype song. Just locked in.
Thomas, what is the best part about having a twin?
Collaborating on homework and helping each other out with school stuff.
Olivia, if you could have a twin, you don't, but if you could, would you want one?
I don't think so, no.
I don't think you would either. What teammate, it could be someone who's graduated, but who's the teammate who's inspired you the most in your career?
Sarah Coleman.
Frank from graduated, but
Yeah, Sarah also.
Ryan Callern?
yeah, Frank
Yeah.
Allen.
And a couple more. If you could live anywhere, like you had the means, you could live anywhere in the world, where would you want to live?
Leadville, Colorado.
Italy.
And if I ask your teammates to describe you in 3 words or less, how do you think your teammates would describe you?
I'm gonna be realistic. Probably bossy. Previously mentioned in my text messages.
You said 3 words?
Or less.
Dedicated.
Olivia went with 1 word.
Oh.
Outstanding and humble.
Okay, I'm not sure if those mixed well, but well, thank you all for joining us, and good luck at Pole Green this weekend. The weather looks kind of miserable for spectating, but maybe
Yeah.
maybe good for running. I like to run in the rain, so keeps you cool. All right, you guys have any last words for Titan Nation before we sign off here?
Nothing in
I'm all
particular.
good,
All right, well, thank you, our class of 2024 cross-country athletes here, Olivia Sibley, Thomas Strickler. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
Good job.
That was fun.
Bossy.
I was stressing it.
I said a lot of very.
All right, so after that great interview we just had with Olivia and Thomas, Hagen and I wanted to do our Athlete of the Week segment. And so, Hagen, why don't you go first?
I'd say for my athlete of the week, it was field hockey senior night, and I think Ava Benson really played good. She had a goal. I think it was a good game for them.
Yeah, so field hockey got a 5-0 win on senior night against Bishop Ireton, and 4 of the 5 seniors scored in that game. So that's a pretty awesome way to cap off their senior night. Mia Watkins, the only senior who didn't score, is a defender, so you wouldn't expect that. But yeah, so shout out for Ava Benson, Darcy Copsenis, we had Ellie Johnson and Shep Ramsey all score, and then Mia in the back. And yeah, I'm going to go with Ellie Johnson for my athlete of the week. She had a really great goal. You can see it on a clip of it on our social media, where Ellie kind of slalomed through several defenders and scored right before halftime, which I believe put the Titans up 3-0 and put them in the driver's seat in that game against Bishop Ireton. So athlete of the week, Ellie Johnson, but huge shout out to all 5 senior field hockey players. And then in terms of other sports, the other team that's really on a roll right now is tennis. Girls tennis has won 6 straight, so if you haven't had a chance to check them out yet, they play at Southampton, just about 8 minutes from here, maybe 10. But definitely check out girls tennis. They're ranked 6th in the state, 6-game winning streak, and I think their senior day is coming up, I believe, next week. So, Hagen, any final words as we wrap up this week's podcast?
I don't think so. Just go sport.
All right. Thanks, Hagen. Appreciate you being here, and thanks everyone who watched. See you next week.
Hey, you said ghost.